Hello everyone, welcome back to another vlog. My name is Leia if you are new here. Today I'm going to take you around, well I guess this evening I'm going to take you around as we do a couple things. We have rain coming in a couple days, so I need to get some plant starts and some seeds in the ground. And I'll show you the garden. It fared extremely well while we were gone. So the weeds have not really taken over. There is some grass that could be pulled up, but it's pretty good. So first though, I need to get this dinner going. It's about 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna show you just this super quick, simple meal. It's been a long time since I've cooked with you all. So I'm gonna show you this quick meal and then we're gonna go outside. Here I just have some ground beef and some onions going, and tonight I'm just making something called a monster mash. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this before. I'd never heard it called a monster mash, but it's kind of like a simple pantry clean out sort of meal. So it just starts with an onion and some ground beef, and then I'm gonna throw in pasta and whatever kind of tomatoes you have on hand. So I'm gonna use these diced tomatoes, but I have also used like crushed tomatoes or even whole tomatoes that you just blitz in the food processor for a moment. And then I'm gonna put in some sort of liquid. So you need like a vegetable stock or chicken broth or something like that. What I'm gonna do is use my bouillon cubes and stick those in here. And then, and some water, of course. And then I'm just gonna season it up. I don't feel like grating garlic or anything like that. So I'm just gonna put garlic powder, onion powder, maybe some oregano, and then about a teaspoon of salt for a pound of beef. These are the vegetable, whoops, whoa, well I'm throwing them on the floor. These are the vegetable bouillon cubes that I make, and I use them in just about everything that calls for a broth. I think they are so much more flavorful than chicken broth, but that's just me. I have to hurry this up. The baby is fussy, and my husband is here with our new washer. We got home from vacation and our washing machine didn't work, so that was great. Here is a can of diced tomatoes. And then I'm just gonna add noodles like that. All right, the first thing I'm gonna tackle in the garden tonight is cover cropping some of these rows. This is what we're going for here. This is a row of wheat and oats. So these are the two rows that need to be cover cropped, and I actually had them cover cropped at the beginning of spring. If you've been here, you remember. But then the grass came up, and oh boy, is the sprinkler gonna get me? And it took over. So I had to cultivate it all under, and I'm trying to redo it. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough seed to do both rows fully, but we're gonna use this up and see how far we get. Now the first time I did this, I did it very lightly, and I did it 6 inches apart. It was very by the book. The second time I did it, I just sprinkled and then pulled the dirt back over. I've already pulled the dirt off these rows with a rake, and I will just put it right back over. And honestly, that works so much better, and it saved my back. So this is how I do it now. Here is the finished product. It is not very pretty, but it will fill bellies. And I went heavy on the noodles because I'm feeding a lot of kids that prefer noodles. If I were making this for myself, I would definitely do 2 cans of tomatoes and kind of turn up the tomato flavor. But again, I'm serving children. And then also my husband does not really like tomatoes. So this is our monster mash. And then I've got cheese right here. This is some raw cheddar. And I'm just gonna throw it on top while it's nice and hot. And this will do. This is great because I was kind of able to just set it and forget it. I just turned it on low and I went out in the garden and did what I needed to do. And when I came back in, it was done. Nice and easy. And it's one pot. Who doesn't love one pot meals? So now these rows are finished. Hopefully these come up faster than the grass. I think that I can get ahead of the grass now. It was just that early spring grass that I just could not beat. So now I'm gonna go get all of our melons. Oh, and I also have to, okay, let me show you guys this. I have 2 tomato plants that are randomly struggling with this fungus. Oh, I asked my dad what it was called. He said you treat it with a copper something. Oh, Black Spot? I think that's what he called it. Anyway, if Black Spot is not the name, I will put a different name here in the video. But I only have 2 plants that have this, and they're on opposite sides of the garden. They're both tomatoes, but they're both different varieties of tomatoes. The other one is way down there. So I don't know if I'm going to bother treating it or if I'm just going to call it, is that the word for plants? I can't remember. Terminate it? I don't know. I think I might just rip it out and throw it away. We'll see. But I don't want it to infect. These 2 over here look totally fine. And I have so many tomatoes that I don't think I'm going to miss this one. I'm pretty sure it's just an Amish paste. So I think I'm going to get rid of it. And the other one is Aroma. Interesting that they're both sauce tomatoes. Okay, so what am I going to do first? Let me get my gloves on and I'm going to cut that down. Yeah, you can totally see there in the stem, whatever this disease is, it goes all the way down the stem and it comes up. Huh. Well, goodbye, tomato plant.
It's gonna take your finger.
No, I heard something buzzing by my ear and it felt it land on my ear. Can I play it upon? Yeah.
These are the Long Island trees.
This is a Long Island one. Yeah. You should bury it because.
Just like that, a few days have gone by, maybe more than a few days. Gosh, I can't even remember. Has it been a whole week? We had a kid get really sick, so everything kind of took a pause and everything is germinating, so that's really cool. Yep, it's coming up nicely. Yeah, we had a kid go down with croup after a really mild cold. It was very weird. Sometimes it makes sense, you know, they get something nasty and then croup comes after and it checks out, but this was a really mild cold and then our kiddo was almost over it and suddenly got croup pretty bad. So he is much better now, but I have not been in the garden to do many projects, and today my goal is to figure out where to put these. I ordered these in the dead of winter when I was searching irrigation methods for large gardens, and we're gonna see how this works. I think the ship has already sailed for trying to put it into the tomato garden, the tomato rows, because it's way too grown now. I think I would have had to lay these down along the fence before I planted. But all it is a hose that has perforations in it already. I read that these are like an old-fashioned sprinkler. Well, I'm not seeing the holes. Do I have to make the holes? Maybe they'll become apparent once it gets turned on. Oh, I think so. Okay, it seems like there's little tiny holes. Oh. Okay, let's go hook one of these up and see what it does. All right, I've hooked it up. Let's see what it does. The idea is that it's supposed to be, oh, it is. Wow, you just really can't see the holes. It's perforated and it puts out a little mist all along it. Okay, cool. It does have the holes. Let me turn this off. I thought I was going crazy for a minute. What did I buy? So with this method, you should be able to water slow and low. Rather than the overhead sprinkler I've been using, which isn't ideal because it gets all of the foliage, which can cause disease. And it's also just a pain moving the sprinkler around. So the idea with this is, theoretically, I could have one of these in each row, and then I could just hook up the hose, you know, and move it along down the line, which still is kind of labor intensive, but a little bit better than trying to drag the whole big hose through these little delicate plants. I have to pull it this way and that way, and it's just kind of annoying. So it's almost long enough for a full garden row.
There's plants here.
Oh yeah, little babies.
Let me,
So it'll just stop short of the sunflowers, which is fine because they're pretty hardy. They don't seem like they're crying for water. Some of them are starting to put their flower on. It's exciting. All right, I have it all hooked up and wow, okay, it goes really high. I don't know if you can see that. It is going like up here. Let me see if I can turn this down a bit. Well, it seems that even with our water as low as possible, it does go pretty high. So I guess that doesn't really help my foliage problem. I really can't tell. It's so sunny out here, I can't tell if the camera is picking that up at all. But I have also seen that you can take these and flip them upside down so that they go straight into the soil. I think that would only work if they were lined up with the plants. I'm not sure that it will get far enough to really permeate everything. Maybe I could have done that like in the tomatoes, you know. But it does seem like a nice way to water overall. Well, I'm gonna leave it on for a while and I'm gonna come back and see what I think. Maybe I can tuck one of these into the tomatoes.
Can I pick this one?
Yes, you can. Yep. Is it good?
You guys going to turn the sprinkler on?
We've come out to put the second one in, and I think the consensus is that this is a neat way to water, but it's only good for certain crops. So I think it's going to do really well on the rows that are cover cropped, although I do still have to solve the problem that it doesn't go all the way to the end, which is kind of a bummer. And then I think if we flipped it upside down and put it along our trellises, it would do great in the tomatoes and tomatillos. But in our other rows, we've got our crops kind of staggered. And so I don't think if we flip this over that everything would get thoroughly watered.